Who are you? No, seriously, who are you? How do you define yourself? There's gender, age, your role in your family, and a bunch of other things. But I bet you don't even notice one of the most basic characteristics that defines you, me, and everyone around us. Do you believe that your talents and skills are fixed? Do you think you can improve them? The answer to this question is perhaps the most defining characteristic any of us has. It is the key to why some players are able to become masters and predators and others never will. In fact, it is the key to achieving greatness in any field. Today, we'll discuss why some people stop improving. I'll also give you some tips on how to avoid it. Before we jump in, most of you watching this video aren't subscribed. If you end up enjoying it, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. What lies at the center of mastering Apex Legends? Like any other FPS, there is a bunch of mechanical skill you need to learn. You have to have decent aim, you have to understand and use movement correctly, and you need to utilize your Legends abilities. But what ultimately separates the top players from the bots is their ability to understand their environment and make the best decisions available to them. If you take some recorded gameplay and you show it to an Apex Predator and a Bronze player, they will notice completely different details. Their mindset and level of understanding shape the world around them, not in a mystical or crazy way, but like the lens of a photographer shapes a picture by focusing on different details in the environment. Improving in any FPS game after you adequately master the mechanics is about gathering and using knowledge from your own experience and from observing others. It's about growing your understanding and executing according to what you've learned. In order to grow, you need to be in the right mindset. Keep watching to learn 5 tips to always keep improving. But first, let me explain how it works. When it comes to developing in any new area, including FPS games, there are 2 mindsets that we gravitate to. A fixed mindset assumes that our character, intelligence, and creative ability are static. It assumes that we cannot change them in any meaningful way. In this mindset, success is down to luck. It's only an affirmation of our inherent abilities. The fixed mindset strives for success and avoids failure at all costs. This becomes a way to maintain the feeling of being smart and skilled. This is where I started my journey. I thought of my skills as gifts of sorts. I may be sharper than some, and I may be dumber than others, but it is what it is. I didn't think it had anything to do with my effort. I felt intelligence was like a smartphone sitting in your pocket. You might get it out to solve a problem, or you might not if you're feeling lazy today. You either have it or you don't. I felt the same way about all of my skills. Either I'm naturally good at some game, or I naturally suck at it. It is what it is. But not all people have this mindset. In fact, most elite performers in any field have a different one. It's called the growth mindset. The growth mindset thrives on challenges and sees failures not as evidence of unworthiness or inherent deficiency. It sees them as a springboard for growth and an opportunity to stretch your existing abilities. The only way to make it to the top ranks in any game is to have a growth mindset. Research shows that each of us can change to a growth mindset, even people like me who are naturally gravitating to a fixed mindset. I know this to be true because I already did it in a bunch of games. I'm no master or predator yet, but with enough time, I'm sure I'll get there. I wasn't born with a growth mindset, and I definitely wasn't raised with it, but now it's like second nature. Master the growth mindset and you'll be better at everything you do, and you'll be happier doing it. The fixed mindset will have you believing that your qualities are carved in stone. The fixed mindset creates an urgency to prove yourself over and over. If you have only a certain amount of skill and intelligence, every game turns into a proving ground to show you're worthy. In any battle royale, most people have to lose most rounds by definition. The story you tell yourself about losing is what, in the long term, separates people forever stuck in lower ranks from those that grow in skill and advance. You need to create a passion for learning and improving. Every time you die has the potential to be another lesson. As you go through more and more lessons, you start to understand what is the right call in more and more situations. Some people learn faster, others learn slower. You only have to race yourself. Each of us has the potential to get out of the fixed mindset and into a growth mindset. You need to move away from seeking approval and you need to focus on improvement and learning. Let's say I persuaded you and you want to try this growth mindset thing. How do you get into a growth mindset and how do you stay in it? At first it will be hard. As you apply it more and more often, it will feel more and more natural. Here is a checklist of 5 attitudes you need to examine in yourself before, during, or after a game session in order to prime yourself for learning and growth. How do you feel about challenges? If you're still stuck in a fixed mindset, you'll feel like avoiding challenges. Getting in a fight leads to the risk of dying. You'll feel like it's better to do something else. There's always more looting to be done instead of fighting. Excuses and procrastination are the bread and butter of the fixed mindset. When you put yourself in the growth mindset, you embrace challenges. I'm not telling you to hot drop with 5+ other squads every game, but once you get a decent loadout, some armor and some meds, you should start looking for a fight. You will lose some of these fights, but after every one, you have to look for ways to improve. Ask yourself, what could I have done to win? How do you feel about the obstacles? Do you just want to give up after dying a few times in a row? Do you feel like others are holding you back? The growth mindset gives you the tenacity to persist in the face of obstacles. The only way to get better is to try again in a different way. It might take a few tries, but you'll find the right solution sooner or later. How do you feel about effort? All skills come to a person naturally. Shift FPS, ACU, and others were just born FPS gods. That is what the fixed mind will have you believe. When you watch a top player, everything feels so effortless. But when you play, everything feels so effortful. Just because something looks easy doesn't mean it is. The only way to grow your muscle memory and your game sense is to expend a huge amount of effort. The more effort you spend, the faster you will progress. How do you feel about criticism? It's easy to ignore useful feedback when you get stuck in the fixed mindset. But if you want to grow, you have to find a way to learn from criticism. Getting advice from a friend who is backseat gaming can be pretty enraging, but you will feel a lot more detachment and calm if you record a video and you watch it together, or even alone. Coaching yourself is extremely useful. All you have to do is record your gameplay and then look at it for things to improve. How do you feel about the success of others? If you feel threatened by the success of others, you are in a fixed mindset. Look for lessons and inspirations in what others achieve. Maybe spectate that squad that killed you and look for what they do differently. Maybe chat up the teammates who did twice as much damage and ask how they do it. Look at some YouTube videos from top players. If you follow these 5 simple tips, I'm sure you'll spend more and more time in a growth mindset. If you're looking to learn more about the growth mindset, I will add a link in the description to Carl Dweck's TED Talk on it. This video was a bit different, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching, and special thanks to everyone who left a comment on my last video.